All right, welcome back to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, more specifically Boshamer Stadium, the site of the series finale. Finally, here on a Monday, North Carolina playing host to NC State. The Wolfpack has taken each of the first two games in this three-game ACC set. I'm Darren Vaught. Andrew Simpson is along my side, and North Carolina trying to salvage the weekend here, Andrew.
Yeah, and that's all you're trying to do. You're trying to, like you said earlier on, it's, they haven't used that many pitching for NC State, so you want to get into that bullpen early, put some pressure on them, and push some runs across early on in this game.
Well, for NC State, the bats have been heavy hitting, to say the least. Tyler McDonough got things started. That was the first inning of Friday's Game 1, an absolute mammoth shot. How about Vitamin Chic? A grand slam to keep the ball rolling on Friday. And then Saturday, Game 2, which was just recently concluded. Terrell Tatum, the two-run shot. Austin Murr, a line drive home run as well. They got the victory 6-1 just moments ago in that one, and took their first ACC series victory of the season. Just 1-8 in conference play entering this weekend. And aside from the hitting, Reed Johnston threw all 9 innings in his first start of the season on Friday. Sam Highfield went an impressive 7 innings before weather delayed the finish to Game 2. So they've only used 3 pitchers, and Matt Willitson, who just cleaned up Game 2, is going to take the hill to start Game 3 for the Wolfpack.
And that's an interesting choice for NC State. They just want to get that W under their belt, and obviously they did.
So we're just moments away from first pitch here at the Bosch. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we return, Game 3 between the Wolfpack and the Tar Heels here on ACC Network Extra. Ready to get rolling here for Game 3 in Chapel Hill. North Carolina looking for a win in this 3-game ACC series. NC State, over North Carolina has taken games 1 and 2, and the Tar Heels will send out Will Sandy, the lefty, to take the mound at the beginning of this one. He started the game last week against East Carolina, in which North Carolina got the win to start their rivalry week, if you will, prior to the series here with NC State, and has looked good most recently.
Yeah, and I think you take that positive momentum that you see right there, carry that from the ECU game into this game. He's really trying to capture that Sunday role for UNC right now. So he's going to work both sides of the plate. Big-time east-west guy. He'll work a little bit, north-south, but he likes to work those corners, and that's going to be a big spot for him today against NC State.
He'll face the same NC State lineup that has been trotted out by head coach Elliott Avent all weekend. And if it's not broken, why try and fix it, Andrew, right? Beginning with Austin Murr, Tyler McDonough, and Luka Tresh. Murr and McDonough home runs so far this weekend. Tresh, 7 on the season, leads the way for the Wolfpack. He's homerless. So, it's about as daunting as a top 3 in a lineup as you can see.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the lineup that they expected coming into the season. Some injuries, COVID, whatever it may have been, started off pretty slow, but this is, I think, NC State, this is the team that they wanted to put out on the field, and now they're able to.
So for North Carolina, this is an interesting pushing of their schedule back. We mentioned they hosted East Carolina last week. They get the away game in that 2-game back and forth with the Pirates tomorrow. So, again, just sort of an interesting pushing this series all the way back to Monday. You turn around and have a tough road test, non-conference, the next week, or the very next day, rather. And then you saw the remainder of their schedule there. They pick right back up with ACC play at Florida State. Is no cakewalk.
No, I mean, their schedule moving forward from here is definitely, like you said, not a cakewalk. And I don't think when you're playing in this type of area in the ACC, no schedule that you're going to be playing is a cakewalk.
Sandy delivers a first pitch strike to Austin Murr. And that's just it with this ACC. A league that's about as deep as it's been in recent memory. There are no weekends off.
No, I think every team has been ranked in the top 25 so far this season. So, like you said, no weekends off. Every weekend, any team can go out and win. It's been an interesting ACC season so far.
Speaking of which, one of the nuances to having Monday college baseball. New rankings out today. You saw last game, Murr takes that one off of the kneecap, it looked like.
That sounded like it hurt.
Well, it sounded like it was his shin guard, but it was too far up for that. We'll get another look. Hobbling to first base. It seems to be okay, I guess.
Hurt. Turn the volumes up for this one.
Ooh. Yeah, so that was higher up on his leg, and you heard that. That was a loud a thud there. He's walking it off.
Trying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I laughed under my breath initially because he was so quick to make his way toward first base. It's like, okay, no matter what, he's trying to stay in this one.
Well, he's going to feel that for the rest of the game. That is for sure, and probably the rest of the week.
Murr able to continue, take his place at first after being hit by pitch. Not a great start for Will Sandy, as now Tyler McDonough, the batter, the switch hitter from the right side against the lefty. Eric Grentz back there behind the dish for North Carolina keeps it in front of him. I mentioned the new rankings, Andrew. You might notice North Carolina had digits next to their name on the little score bug there coming into this series. No longer the case. McDonough pushes the bunt toward the right side and beats it out. Tyler McDonough, a bunt single, runners at first and second early for NC State.
Get a good look at this play right here coming up. So it's such a tough play for a first baseman, pitcher, second baseman to communicate. Just a little Bermuda Triangle. Sandy does a great job getting over there. This is a tough play. What do they say? Tie goes to the runner? Is that what that phrase is?
It is an adage.
Until you get replay involved.
I know some who subscribe to such thinking. Now, an umpire is going to tell you there's no such thing as a tie.
I don't believe that.
So it looks like they'll have another look at this. I mean, certainly in the conclusion of Game 2 that we had earlier, if the two plays that were reviewed were close enough to review, I think this one also meets those criteria.
Yeah, this is very close. Like I said, that's such a hard play. You practice it every single day, and you know, in PFPs, in fall ball, early spring work. That's a play that you continuously practice, but it's a difficult one.
We'll have another look here, because I think Will Sandy.
I mean, their foot.
I think the barehanding of the baseball when it was tossed to him saved him just
100%.
Just milliseconds.
And now that we're getting a much closer, slower look at this, I think his foot is beating McDonough's foot to the bag. If you watch right there, he's going toe to that front corner, which is exactly what you want to do as a pitcher.
And as a reminder, you are not seeing the same camera angles that the umpires are here. So that factors in. Also, we had another angle of that shot, and to me, Andrew, it didn't look like Sandy got his foot fully on the bag when he stepped down. So here's that look, because to me initially it looked as if he was not quite to the bag.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And that's going to make a difference, too, if they see it. So the call is that McDonough is safe. It puts runners at first and second with nobody away. Luca Tresh, the batter for the Wolfpack. Takes the first, 0-1 to Tresh. Three hits in the series. Swings it out, and it drops in left, down for a hit. Murr comes around and scores the first run of game 3 here. And it's 1-0 NC State. Luka Tresh, the RBI single.
Not a very hard hit ball by Tresh, but he just gets it over third base, out in front of a changeup. Pretty good pitch by Sandy, but once again, it's just out of the reach over there into left field. Like you said, Murr trying to get to home plate with that knee.
He's been smiling the entire time he's been running on it, though, so it makes me believe, anyway, it can't be that bad. Might be smiling through the pain, though.
It's easy for you to say sitting here now with a 90-mile-per-hour fastball indent in your knee.
Johnny Butler takes for an 0-1. Runners now at the corners for NC State. Tyler McDonough made it from first to third there. Butler 1 for 5 in game 2. Weak dribbler up the middle. Madej to Soretti, and they get the lead man. But a slow developing grounder prevents the double play.
Yeah, once again, just out in front of it. Unable to turn double play. Obviously in that double play depth, a little bit further back on the infield. But NC State coming back, putting another run on the board. That's one thing they've struggled to do. You know, early on in the season, they've done well so far this weekend against Carolina.
Early 2-0 lead for the Wolfpack. Jose Torres pokes a bunt to the right side of the infield. Sandy, the underhand toss. And now a runner in scoring position with 2 away. What do you think of that decision?
I think he was trying to do the same thing McDonough was doing. Interesting choice for sure.
Okay, so you're saying it wasn't necessarily, you don't think it was necessarily a sacrifice?
No. I think he's trying to bunt for a hit there. With a left-handed pitcher up, you'll see that more often because that, you know, Sandy is falling towards the third baseline, so there opens up some more room.
There's a big cut, weak chopper for Terrell Tatum. Soretti from shortstop delivers a strong throw, and that retires the side. But NC State with a couple of runs plated in the top of the first inning here in game 3. The Wolfpack strikes first again in the top of the first inning here in game 3, just as they did in game 1 back on Friday with a run. 2-0 their lead, but North Carolina to the dish for the first time in this game 3. And to the hill for the second time today, first time here in this game 3, Matt Willitson, who came in and threw the last 6 outs of the resumption of game 2 earlier.
Yeah, and, you know, he's a 4-pitch guy, low 90s fastball, big-time athlete. But I think what he's going to really need to pitch off of today is his changeup. I think that's one of his best pitches. He's really worked on it in the offseason. You know, I think he's the type of guy who's kind of won that Sunday spot for NC State. And, you know, they're looking, obviously, to kind of push him into this game. But the big thing is they have their whole bullpen if needed. They haven't thrown anyone out of that bullpen yet. So it'll be interesting to see how long he's able to go into this game.
Also interesting because he's already thrown officially 21 pitches.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you call that his warm-up. And then you sit around for 30 or so minutes and you bounce back out there. All very normal in baseball.
Slight change to the top of the order for North Carolina. Justice Thompson leading things off. He and Angel Zarate swapped in the 1-2 spots. Check swing goes foul, so 0-1 to Thompson. As here you have a look at it. Justice Thompson, Angel Zarate, Danny Soretti moves to the 3-hole. Caleb Roberts back to the cleanup spot. Matt Horvath seeing his first action of the series at third base, hitting 9th. Willitson with an 0-2 to Thompson.
I think that changeup at the top of the order for Carolina is just, you know, for Thompson, it's just getting someone on base and probably one of the hottest bats in this lineup. So it's just a matter of kind of kick-starting the offense and getting someone on and putting some pressure on this NC State defense and pitching staff.
Willitson off the mark, level count 2-2. In the conclusion of game 2 earlier today, these two did face each other. Thompson had a ground ball that hit to Voitamin-Sheik. Made it close enough, almost ran it out, forced a review.
He's got some speed on him, that's for sure.
No swing, that one catches the outer black. Nice pitch by Willitson, strikes out the leadoff man for North Carolina. NC State defensively aligned exactly as they have been all weekend, including with Terrell Tatum at the designated hitter spot there, not participating defensively. But it's been good for them. 3 double plays turned in game 2. They've looked pretty sharp so far. So here's Angel Zarate entering the series this weekend. Had a streak of 39 games in which he had reached base safely in all 39. That was broken on Friday when he went 0 for 4. But a couple of hits, including a solo shot in game 2, got him back on track. Breaking ball drops right in for Willitson, 0-2.
If he has that pitch going that he's able to throw in any count, it's going to be could be a long day for these Carolina hitters. That's a big-time breaking ball by Willitson.
We've seen that, the fastball, the changeup as well. That one on the outer half of the plate. Sent opposite field and in the sky by Zarate. Easy out, received by Johnny Butler there in left. Not often a team in college baseball, Andrew, has a chance to get through a weekend series using only 3 pitchers.
I'm going to go on a limb and say it's never been done. I'm pretty sure it's never been done in the history of college baseball. Could be wrong.
Yeah, that's a little bold. We got it's a lot of play to dig through to find the answer to that.
I mean, just think about how impressive that is, just to get through 2 days, only using, well, I guess you could say 3 pitchers because of Willitson coming in the 8th.
Hard grounder hit by Soretti, eaten up by Austin Murr, and it's 3 up, 3 down for the Tar Heels in the bottom of the frame. We move to the 2nd inning. 2-0 the lead for NC State. The score headed into the 2nd inning here on ACC Network Extra. NC State has already taken the first 2 games of this series. Pushed into the week here on a Monday is Devontae Brown leading things off for the Wolfpack. Watches the first pitch from Will Sandy, 0-1. Brown just 3 extra base hits so far on the season. Takes again, 2 strikes against him.
And that's the one thing that we didn't see from him last year. You know, he was able to go out and be aggressive against fastballs, and right there, Sandy has a perfectly placed fastball at the knees that he just doesn't even budge on. So I think that's the one thing that he's kind of get back to if he wants to be productive into this lineup. Start being aggressive with fastballs.
Two misses outside. Brown a good take, forces the full count. Leaves that one high for ball 4, and Devontae Brown reaches to start things off for the Wolfpack. So defensively, for North Carolina, Mac Horvath makes the start at 3rd base. Mikey Madej, his 2nd consecutive start at 2nd. Zarate, Thompson, Roberts across the outfield, and then the freshman Hunter Stokely with the start at first base. So a lot of different looks for the Tar Heels here in Game 3. Laid down by Wojta Minchik. Does the job, advances Brown to second, one away. And Stokely there to catch at first base. The fourth Tar Heel to play first base defensively this weekend.
I guess it's nice that you have those options, right? You can plug and place whoever you want over there, but I mean, Stokely with a massive home run earlier on the weekend. That was an absolute bomb.
Hit that one in the bottom of the ninth in Game 1 on Friday. As JT Jarrett tries to go opposite field, sends it out of play. The home run by Stokely on Friday traveled 439 feet. It's the second longest homer for a North Carolina player since 2015.
Yeah, that's...
He clobbered.
Yeah, that's the perfect word, right there.
And runs in on JT Jarrett, and a second hit batsman by Sandy.
Yeah, it's just a slider that comes, breaks too far inside. We talked about him liking to work the corners, especially with that slider going to that back foot of a righty. But right there just starts it a little bit too far in with his second hit by pitch of the day.
What do you think? That one didn't hurt quite as much as the one Austin Murr here took earlier?
Not even close.
First pitch swinging, Murr sends it right down the line, but foul. Frankly, I'm glad to see Murr is still in the contest.
I was going to say this might be the biggest test that he's had so far because you have to plant on that front leg. You have to drive that into the ground to be able to, rotate yourself throughout a swing. So this might be the biggest test that he has to see how well that knee is feeling right now.
Rips the 0-1. That one's in the gap. Thompson runs it down and will keep it to just a double as Devontae Brown comes in and scores, and Austin Murr is fired up. He seems to be okay.
I'm going to say I think he passed the test right there. Not a bad located pitch, just stays middle of the zone. So Austin Murr able to get a barrel line, drive it out to the right field to score Brown and move JT Jarrett to third base.
So 2 in scoring position now for the Wolfpack as they're off to another hot start. How about Murr dialing up his friends in the dugout as Will Sandy's day will conclude here in the second inning. It'll be a new arm. Looks to be Nick Pry set to come in for North Carolina. He got the win in the win against East Carolina on Tuesday. Nick Pry on the other side. Three to nothing start for NC State, and already a pitching change in the second inning here for North Carolina. They will call upon Nick Pry, who saw some time on Saturday, faced 9 batters, struck out 4 of them, and got credited for the win when North Carolina hosted East Carolina back on Tuesday.
And they like him coming out of the bullpen, big time arm, really good off-speed stuff, more of a slider coming from Pry. But right now, his job right now is just to keep them in this ball game. Don't let it get out of control. Comes into a dicey situation, obviously 1 out with 2 runners in scoring position. So big time spot for Pry just to keep Carolina in this ball game.
So now Tyler McDonough reached on a bunt single his last time up, and frankly has been on fire this entire series. Watches the pitch low. He had 3 hits on Friday, 3 for 5, was 2 for 4 in the Game 2 victory. And his weekend started on Friday with a top of the first inning solo home run. Big cut. The off speed caught him off guard.
That is definitely a power slider. Got good movement on it, good depth. You know, mid to upper 80s. It's a very good pitch for Pry. That's one that he's going to work off of and be able to throw his fastball off of that.
Another cut and miss by McDonough, 1-2. Topped that one foul. So still not really on it when seeing the breaking ball there. The switch hitter McDonough working from the left-handed side.
No, it's a tough pitch for a lefty because, like we said, you know, with Sandy is coming into the back foot of a right-hand hitter now, obviously the opposite direction from Pry. If he's able to get that starting middle of the zone, dropping off to that back foot, that's where his strikeout pitch is going to be. He just has to trust Frick behind home plate to keep it in front of him and don't let anything get past him.
Timeout called. Frick looking in for signs. A bit of a delay in getting them. We saw earlier in the weekend, took a backswing to the top of his catcher's mask. It knocked his IFB out of his ear. That one running away from McDonough. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pry with the punch out.
That is a nasty sequence right there by Pry. It's everything coming inside to McDonough and then all of a sudden drops off the table with a great changeup. See right there, McDonough's just out in front, pulling away from it. That's a big-time pitch by Pry.
So another strikeout for Nick Pry, his first today and 5th of the weekend. Luca Tresh 1 for 1 today. Breaking ball. Bounced off of Frick's helmet, and that goes into the outfield. Pry tried to clean it up. Couple of runs will score for NC State.
What a sequence of events right there. NC State looks like they're going to get caught at third base. Looks like they get mixed up with signals, stays in front of them.
Was that right off of Frick's mask?
It was. It was right off the top of the mask. And then Pry just doesn't get a good handle on it. Throws it out into left field. I think they got crossed up. Unless it was just a, you know, just unable to see that slider coming in.
Makes it 5-0 NC State. Clears the base paths for Luca Tresh, who takes to a 3-0. This is certainly not the start you wanted if you are North Carolina head coach Scott Forbes, to try and salvage something from this series before having to go to East Carolina tomorrow.
And to Florida State.
And then to Florida State, yes.
That's not the momentum you want to be carrying into the next, you know, ACC weekend. Playing at Florida State, that is such a tough place to play and win, for that matter.
The 3-1 swung on by Tresh. It ducks underneath the bat head. Cash 3 for 10 on the weekend so far. Hard one on the ground, over to Horvath at third, plenty of time. And makes a steady throw over to first, but NC State tacks on a couple more. 5-0 their lead. NC State with a 5-0 lead in this one. Will Sandy, the starting pitcher, already has been yanked for North Carolina. And just check out this contrast. Coming into the weekend, the Tar Heels had the superior pitching so far this season. But NC State, it's been all about their starting pitching.
And the Tar Heels, like you said, that's what's kept them in games and won them games so far early on. And NC State's been the complete opposite. It's just been a complete opposite situation here for NC State. Their starting pitchers have been fantastic, and that is why they obviously won the first two games this series and already up 5-0 in this one. I'm sure Coach Avon and company are thrilled to see that coming out of what they've seen in previous weekends.
It had been a really tough start to the season for the Wolfpack, their ACC series. Included Louisville, Miami, Georgia Tech, and Roberts laces it into the gap. Caleb Roberts on to lead things off for North Carolina. Brown had trouble gloving it, and I think it would have been a double either way, and a leadoff two-bagger for Roberts and the Tar Heels. He's been great this series.
Such a nice swing, good quick hands, get the barrel to the baseball. That's just a fastball right down the middle of play, exactly what you should be doing with that pitch. He has been one of the hottest hitters in this Carolina offense.
Now it's Tomas Frick. Fouls one away. And here's the numbers for Caleb Roberts compared to everybody else on the team in this series. Again, some of those hits are more calculated because he's trying to beat the shift, but that one right there, he just took what was given and ripped it. But he's 5 for 8.
Everything's a line drive in the book, right? It's when you have 5 to 6, 7 hits on the weekend, that is a very, very successful weekend, especially in the ACC. Like I said, he's just been, kind of locked in, seeing the ball real well, and able to drive the ball to all fields.
Got that breaking ball by Willitson that got us to an 0-2 count here. Weak grounder up the middle. Torres scoops and tosses to first for the first out.
Yeah, not a bad job by Frick, just putting it in play, obviously moving Roberts over to third base. Exactly what you got to do in that situation. If you're Carolina right now, you're just trying to push across a run or two to, just stay in this ball game. I know it's early on, but this game can get out of control. Obviously, already down 2-0 in the series. You do not want to get down in this one and kind of just take all the air out of the bubble.
So here's Eric Grentz. It's been tough for him to get playing time at catcher because of Tomas Frick's impact so far this season. But this is a player that Scott Forbes and company really like as a coaching staff. They're trying to find creative ways to get him in. He's the designated hitter in game 3 here.
It's always hard, too, to get in a rhythm when you're getting spot starts or a pinch hit here and there. That's a tough thing to do, come off the bench, but these are the type of situations when you're starting a game, that's what you got to take advantage of, to get in the lineup and stay in the lineup.
Willitson, the 0-2, breaking ball. That one barely lifted, but it drops in center. RBI single for Grentz, and North Carolina on the board here at the bottom of the second.
And once again, just a great job of putting the ball in play. That's exactly what you got to do with the guy on third base. He's out in front of looks like a curveball right here, just out in front. off the end of the bat. That one's able to fall in front of McDonough in center field to score the run.
So it brings up Hunter Stokely, the first baseman in today's game. Big cut on the first pitch, sends it back into the padding. About that OPS right there, 2,000.
Is that good? I think that's what keeps you in a lineup.
Yeah, small sample size, you lift a home run.
And that's what you get.
That'll do wonders. Hammers the 0-1 into the ground. Murr takes it himself at first and gets the easy out. Unable to get the out at second, but 2 away.
That's a tough play for a first baseman. Murr probably just not clearing the lane to second base to make a good throw there. But yeah, I think Stokely, you're going to start seeing him in the lineup more and more and more. I think as a freshman, he has a great swing. Obviously, shown the power Friday night. He might become more of a mainstay in this Carolina's offense.
Now it's Mikey Madej. Leaves that one top shelf. 1-0 the count. Madej, along with Justice Thompson in the leadoff spot for North Carolina today. Both played together at Northwest Florida. JUCO teammates. We've been told Madej is the one who sort of clued the coaching staff in on Justice Thompson as the weak line out. Received by JT Jarrett, and that retires the side. North Carolina on the board, though. They're within 4. NC State, the 4-run lead. How about a look at the ACC standings? These are fun.
What a...
Louisville and Georgia Tech.
Hey, what do you pull from this?
Staying strong at the top of their respective divisions. They're both top 10 teams. Everybody else is kind of in a dogfight. A lot of good teams with not great records, but you see there, middle of the road, 6-6 in the Atlantic, Andrew. Clemson is the only ACC team yet to be ranked in the D1 baseball national poll so far this season, and yet they're right there in the middle.
Yeah, well, it's great. Like we talked about earlier, it's any given point in time, you know, in an ACC weekend, a team can go out and win or get swept. You know, it's just Notre Dame's probably been the biggest surprise in the ACC, and they're at
Pitt
10
as well.
Pitt,
I would put in that conversation.
Yep. So I mean, there's just, you know, from top to bottom, there's no team that's really, I'm going to say, bad.
Well, I mean, you look at teams like NC State here, 3 conference wins so far.
Yeah.
That's the same number as a Boston College.
Exactly.
3 conference wins. And BC, again, has been ranked and maybe has the best pitcher and the best hitter in the entire Atlantic Coast Conference. So, you know, they're no slouch.
I tell you, it's going to be a fun tournament out in Charlotte this year. That is for sure. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see a very, very interesting tournament come May.
Nick Pry here with an 0-2 count against NC State's Johnny Butler. Reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. Goes down and gets the 0-2, pulls it foul.
And what a great venue that's going to be for the ACC tournament this year. I don't know if you've ever been to that stadium out there in Charlotte.
Ballpark. I have called games there, and it's one of my favorite views in baseball.
I've yet to be inside the stadium, but I've obviously been to Charlotte and seen it and seen pictures. Man, that's got to be one of the best ones in the country.
Here's a deep drive to center. Johnny Butler gets it to the warning track, but not enough. Justice Thompson chases it down in the shadows for out number 1.
Like your little humble brag right there. I've called games there. I've done it. Oh, you haven't been inside the stadium? I've called games.
Remind me to send you the photo. It's one of, I mean, you know, what kind of play-by-play guy would I be if I didn't take photos from the booth?
Of course.
Pretty much everywhere I've been. But you got the Charlotte skyline
awesome.
Right in the outfield. It's right there in the heart of Uptown. It's a great view.
It is. It'll be nice to get some AAA baseball back into Charlotte this year, as well as Durham, right down the road from here in Chapel Hill.
Big swing and a miss by Jose Torres, 1-1 his count. Leaves that one low. What do you miss most about, in full disclosure, we're not at the Bosch outside calling this one in the booth there. What do you miss most about being at games? Torres flies one out to center field. Justice Thompson tracks it back to the wall, and it's over. An opposite field home run for Jose Torres.
Well, I miss seeing the flags and the wind blow because I did not think that was going to be a home run. That ball it looked like Thompson just kept drifting and drifting and drifting. And Torres showing off the opposite field power. It's a fastball down the middle of the plate. Looks like he gets good barrel on it. Great job staying back, driving that baseball. But yeah, it doesn't even look like the wind's blowing that much. It just looks like Thompson just kept going back and just ran out of real estate.
Third homer of the season for Jose Torres. That makes it 6-1 already. That was the final in Game 2. And here we are just in the top of the third inning.
I just miss being around the stadium. You know what I mean? It's fun going to the ballpark, and I think any baseball fan will tell you that. It's fun being around the ball field, going in, watching BP and doing all those types of things. It's that's definitely something that I haven't been in many baseball stadiums in the past year and a half, so that's something I miss big time.
It's funny. I mention it because we've got around about 800 people here at the Bosch today for this one, as that one bunted but foul by Tatum. I say it more than anything to get people excited.
Yeah, it's great.
Light awesome. At the end of the tunnel, you're going to be able to go to minor league baseball games and college baseball games again. I know I'm excited to finally be on site at venues for these types of things.
I agree. Going and just sitting at a baseball game is probably one of my favorite things to do. It's probably not many people's favorite thing to do, but I absolutely love going to the ballpark and just catching a few innings at least.
1-2 to Tatum. Another one chopped foul. Now you're a family man, but are you one to just go to a game solo?
That's a good question. No, I think
still figuring it out, right?
So yeah, I have a 4-month-old son, so he will definitely. There's a nice little spectator for Carolina fans.
North Carolina men's basketball coach Roy Williams taking in a game solo.
Why not?
I mean, if Roy could do it,
anyone.
I'm all for going to take in a baseball game by myself.
Yeah, nice Monday afternoon, sunny, 65. But yeah, I will definitely take my my son to some games. He's been to a couple already this year.
Tatum watches the breaking ball, and man, that thing is filthy. Another strikeout for Pride.
And that's just kind of backs up on him. Definitely not doing what he wants it to, but that is a filthy changeup. Thought it was a slider at first, but better look at it right there. That's a very, very good changeup, dropping right off the table.
Yeah, no, good correction by my initial look at it, too. That's a good bounce back from giving up the home run. There's the breaking ball. Brown pounds it into the grass, makes for a pretty routine play for Danny Soretti. But Jose Torres tacks on another for NC State, his third home run of the year. This one an opposite field solo shot. It's 6-1 Wolfpack. Well, this series typically delivers, Andrew, but let's take a look by the numbers. The last 4 games versus North Carolina, NC State has outscored the Tar Heels 37-5. They've had a team ERA sub 1.5, and then they've played much better defense. Because look at that, 10 errors on the Tar Heels in those 4 games.
That right there is the biggest number that sticks out to me. 10 errors on a weekend, just it can't happen. And you still expect to win a baseball game, right? It's very hard to stay in a baseball game when you give extra outs, give extra opportunities. And that's one thing that NC State's gone on the flip side. They've done a great job of limiting opportunities from the error side of things. They've given away on the pitching side of things. They've given, extra base hits, walks, errors, whatever it might be. That's where they've given away their opportunities. So, yeah, that's a tough number, and I'm sure that will get fixed very quickly moving into their next weekend for Carolina.
Well, when you need something that's going to work in the lineup like Scott Forbes does and is looking for the Tar Heels, it amounts to starting Mac Horvath at third base again. He was thought to be their guy at the hot corner at the beginning of the season. Highly recruited prospect out of Minnesota, but just 1 hit in his first 24 plate appearances. Led to some time on the bench, and then it's what you were talking about earlier in some other cases, that you're just trying to find it, and that becomes harder when you're not an everyday player and you're being chosen for certain spots here and there.
And I think this is probably the toughest year to do it too, when you're trying to search and find that lineup that works, as he drops a nice little hit in right there in front of McDonough, because ACC play started earlier. So you don't have that time to figure out your offense. You don't have time to figure out where the pieces, fit the puzzle. You have to jump right into it and start winning. So that's going to be the hardest thing, coming into this year for both teams and all teams in the ACC.
So the second hit of the season for the freshman Horvath. A leadoff single here in the bottom of the 3rd inning for North Carolina. And back to the top of the order, Justice Thompson heads to the plate. He's 0 for 1 in this game, but he's seen Willitson twice today and has been retired both times. Cuts at the loopy breaking ball. And that's devastating, right? When you can get the type of velocity in the 90s like you do with your fastball, and then that one registered at 69 miles per hour, so it dips under 70. It's quite the disparity.
Yeah, you have a 15 to 20 mile per hour difference right there, and he's able to throw it in an 0-0 count, an 0-1 count, a 1-1 count. He's able to throw it in different situations, so it's just going to keep these hitters off balance. And then one thing that I've noticed this weekend with NC State, they don't go inside on Thompson very much. They're setting out outside black, maybe a ball or two off the plate. Thompson's just such a good hitter on the inside corner. You see him on top of that plate too. He's got such quick hands that he's able to get to that baseball. So they're trying to stay away from the inside part of the plate on him.
Leaves the breaking ball high, 2-1, so a hitter's count now for Justice Thompson. And a throw back to Horvath. Let's see the pitch number for Willitson at 27. This will be pitch number 28 rather. Up in the zone, Thompson sprays it back. But keep in mind, he threw 21 at the conclusion of game 2. So it's not, there's some context to be delivered because that game finished up just moments before this one got started.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back through my career. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy come in, finish a game, get 6 outs, and then come back and start the next game. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before.
A lot of firsts for us in college baseball here in 2021. That one. Backhanded play by Torres. No shot at turning 2 because Thompson is so fast, but a really good play just to get the lead runner and Horvath out.
And that's why Torres they're just so happy that he's kind of back to healthy 100%. He makes these type of plays look so easy, and that's a heads-up play, not even thinking about trying to get Thompson at first base. Great heads-up play by Torres, the shortstop. That's why he is ranked one of the highest shortstops in the country, just from his defensive standpoint.
Angel Zarate now the batter. First pitch swinging, ground ball to Murr. He squeezes it, plenty of time to make the play, and he's down to touch first base on the double play. NC State has flashed the leather all weekend in this one. Another double play as they turn two to get out of the side. A new arm for North Carolina. Gage Gillian makes yet another relief appearance in this series. He's been in each games 1 and 2 so far, and will assume pitching responsibilities here in game 3. He's been really good so far on the weekend. Limited appearances prior to this series, but has been impressive. And again, just like Hunter Stokely at the plate, took advantage of an opportunity. There's Hunter. Or excuse me, that's Will Sandy, who started the game for North Carolina. But Gage Gillian here has taken advantage of a couple of opportunities and potentially found a spot in the regular, I wanted to say rotation, but that's misleading. But rotation means starters.
Exactly.
He's going to get in the mix, in the bullpen mix.
And rightfully so. You know, if you earn it, you know, in a rival weekend, you know, you definitely deserve that spot. And I think that's what every team's trying to do. And obviously, coming into a weekend, you know, Carolina's trying to find those pieces, right? It's finding the pieces that fit the puzzle that you're able to throw out in certain situations. As he gets Voight-Menchik to fly out there to Thompson in center field.
I was going to let you say it because last time Jose Torres put it in the air like that, it just floated on out. So I'm glad you took that one. You took the play-by-play over on that.
I made sure he stayed away from that warning track because I didn't think Torres was going out either. So
Gillian gets the fly ball for out number 1. Quite the pedigree. His dad, Charles, all-time saves leader at Virginia Tech. Speaking of new rankings on a Monday, the Hokies now in the top 25 nationally.
Exciting team to watch too. Have you seen the home run hammer that they drop in there?
I have. Certainly a lot of fun. I mean,
that's college baseball at its finest.
It is. There's so much of that in this edition of the ACC. I just think is top to bottom so interesting. So dynamic. Speaking of pedigree, JT Jarrett. Speaking of both pedigree and the ACC, his father, Link Jarrett, head coach at Notre Dame,
doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, they got a big win over Louisville this weekend.
Now, did you see they didn't play Sunday, but Louisville practiced
on
their
Notre
field.
Dame's field? That was a.
What was the
that to me, because I think it was strong winds that was the reason for cancellation. So that to me, you saw on Louisville baseball's social media. Hey, we're practicing today. I think they just wanted people to know that it was playable. That's my observation.
Yeah, that's exactly how I saw it too.
So you love that. I mean, again. Teams 1 through 14, a lot of chippiness. Yeah. A lot of chippiness in the ACC this year. Jarrett fists one over to shortstop. Hot for Soretti, and Jarrett will end up at first base. We'll see how it's scored because he was hitless in the series up to that point.
It's a tough play right there. That one, it's a one-hopper. Yeah, if he reads that right off the bat, he's able to probably get it on his glove side and not try to backhand that, but that's a tough play for a shortstop as they scored a hit for JT
Officially,
Jarrett.
the first hit of the series for JT Jarrett. He's been putting balls in play. Just had been yet to find some daylight as Austin Murr watches the breaking ball low. See Murr's line there. A couple of runs scored to go with it. Gillian has used that breaking ball. I mean, it's an absolute hammer of a pitch. Seems to be maybe just a little bit off, hasn't quite found it or found the strike zone with it so far in this outing. There's the fastball sent skyward by Murr. Looks to be a pretty easy catch for Angel Zarate. 2 away.
Yeah, it's a big-time breaking ball, and as long as he shows it, right, you're able to work off of it. So it doesn't have to be perfect every single time. He's able to, just show it to these NC State hitters and then work off of that. He's able to locate fastball. That's where he's been very successful early on the weekend.
First pitch to Tyler McDonough, misses high. 1 for 2 today with a bunt single and a run scored. Leaves it up. McDonough, a preseason All-American.
And this is a guy they didn't think they would get back at NC State. Obviously, the MLB draft getting shortened because of COVID. So, you got to take the positives out of COVID, and that's one thing that NC State's very happy to get back.
Yeah, and when we talk about the depth of the conference, that has a lot to do with it.
A lot of it, yes.
Georgia Tech has a couple of guys that fit that description as well. Hard grounder, eaten up by Hunter Stokely at first. He takes it himself and retires the side, but NC State remains ahead, 6-1. There he is, the goodest boy in all of college baseball. What would a trip to Chapel Hill to see a Tar Heels baseball game be without a Remington sighting, the team service dog?
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Take a cup of water away, does it all.
So North Carolina trying to battle back into this one. At the short end of the stick in each games 1 and 2. NC State 2-0 on the weekend. Wolfpack with its first ACC series win of the season, potentially looking to get the sweep today.
And they probably face the 3, I'm going to say the best teams in the ACC. If you want to, go that route, obviously they get their ACC weekend canceled against Duke, but facing Louisville, Georgia Tech, Miami. That is a rough start.
Hard grounder by Soretti, but right to JT Jarrett, and a quick first out. And that's just it. When we flashed up the ACC standings earlier, the Atlantic is led by Louisville. The Coastal is led by Georgia Tech. I mean, those are the 2 best teams to this point in the conference. They both swept NC State.
There's that good changeup by Wilson. He's able, like we talked about earlier on, he's able to throw it in any single count. And against a good hitter with Caleb Roberts, you want to be able to do that because now he's able to come back with maybe a fastball on the inside part of the plate or, whatever he feels comfortable with, back-to-back changeups. That's exactly what you get. That's going to be his big pitch against Caleb Roberts.
So for Roberts, it's been a really productive weekend. 2 hits apiece, games 1 and 2. against the shift. NC State not shifting today in game 3, and he pops that one up to be retired as Jose Torres catches it.
Okay, going 5 for 9 on the weekend, that's hard to do.
Not much else doing offensively in the series for North Carolina. Tomas Frick now the batter. Big cut and miss. Frick with his first career home run, hit one opposite field against East Carolina earlier in the week on Tuesday. Davidson just off the mark outside. A bouncer up the middle. Torres comes across second base and makes the play. So that retires the side and ends the 4th inning with NC State ahead by 5. Back for the start of the 5th inning in Chapel Hill. NC State 6-1 lead on North Carolina in a rivalry that goes way back. Check this out. First game between NC State and North Carolina played in 1895. What else happened to that year? Babe Ruth was born. It's been a minute. The sport of mintonette, which is now volleyball. Volleyball wasn't called volleyball. It was invented that year. The first American automobile race was held. First chiropractic spinal adjustment ever. That's
got to be scary.
That's of interest. I wonder how that went. And then the Lumiere brothers debuted their first moving picture film. So, I mean, obviously we've come a long way. So it'll be Michael O on to pitch for North Carolina, making his 2nd appearance of this series.
Would you like to be the guinea pig on the first spinal adjustment?
No, not at all.
I'm terrified to go now. I still think they're going to mess something up.
I get regular adjustments, but yeah, no, it's a
one wrong
back
move
of your mind thought every single time, right?
Yeah, unless that one wrong move happens. And
well, you read stories, and then you get instances like your mother finds out you're seeing a chiropractor, and she sees a news story, texts it to you. Look at what happened to this one person. Not helping much.
1 out of 1 million this happened to. You need to be careful.
So Luca Tresh digs into the batter's box. Michael O, his 2nd appearance of the season for North Carolina, fires in a first pitch strike. O, a Northern Iowa transfer. That's one sail high. Tresh a single back in the 1st. Ground ball his last time up in the 2nd. Waves it 1. 2 strikes against him.
Yeah, that's that big, quarter arm slot. Definitely not an overpowering guy, but he's able to just kind of be able to pitch and locate off speed, fastballs, whatever he wants. As long as he stays down the zone, he's going to be effective.
1-2. No check of the swing as Tresh held back. Tresh not pressing. He's had a decent weekend at the plate. But perhaps a little bit eager here. Big cut for strike 3 as O retires Tresh.
That's a big thing with these sidearm guys. You know, that's only 84 miles per hour, but it looks like 89, 90 because of his slow off-speed stuff. It's right in the middle of the plate. You just tell he's just not on time with that pitch. Really nice job, really good sequence by O.
Johnny Butler takes inside, 1-0 his count.
I was always a guy that if you brought on sidearm against me, I'm out. There's no hits that will happen as long as he stays in the game. I never saw sidearm guys well. They're so hard to hit, and they have that big, you know, frisbee slider. Then they drop a two-seam in on you.
Now, Andrew, is that only in hindsight? Because in the moment, you can't possibly think that way.
No, in the moment, I was thinking that. Nope. 100%. In the moment, I'm thinking I'm not getting a hit unless this guy comes out of the game.
Were those words ever uttered aloud?
I'm sure. Yeah, probably.
Butler thought about it.
Yeah, I never saw the ball well against sidearm guys.
Catches the outer black, and looky here, a full count.
It's a good spot right there. It's a two-seam run away from Butler.
Oh for 2 today. Hacks and misses. That one just ducked underneath the bat head for strike 3. So Jose Torres, the next batter, following consecutive strikeouts by Michael O. He sent one flying out of the ballpark his last time up. The solo shot, his 3rd home run of the season. This is his first look at Michael O. He finds the strike zone, 0-1.
Doing a really nice job just placing whatever pitch he wants on the outside black, inside black. It's a really good feel for his pitches right now. Yeah, that is filthy. That started middle of play at the knees, dropping off to the ankles. Are you starting to see why I said sidearm guys are very difficult to hit? This is it right here. This is like PTSD right now, watching this.
The 0-2 to Torres, sent up into the air, center field. That one's not going to carry like the last one, as Justice Thompson squeezes it for the 3rd out. And that moves us to the bottom of the 5th inning. 5 runs the lead for the Wolfpack.
Doesn't get any better than this. You're in for a special treat tonight.
Let's have some fun, everybody.
Coming down to 9 innings, you leave it all on the field. You lose, you go home. You win, you go to Omaha.
Oh, you love those sights and sounds, don't you? Just great to have a college baseball season here in 2021. And here on a Monday, a look at the brand new top 10 according to D1 Baseball. Vanderbilt stays atop the rankings, although they and Arkansas really have been duking it out. Texas into the top 10. You see Georgia Tech and Louisville there as well. Vanderbilt has just really asserted some dominance, mainly because of their starting pitching, with Kumar Rocker as their Friday ace, Jack Leiter, their Saturday starter. First pitch swinging and a ground ball over to Voideman Sheik. Retires Eric Grintz for out number 1.
And I feel like you're going to know the answer to this question, but has there ever been a 1-2 combo in college to go 1-2 in the draft? Because that's
so you're talking about the
trending.
Possibility of Rocker and Leiter in whatever order going 1 and 2 in the MLB draft.
Correct, and that's what it's kind of trending towards.
It's never happened 1-2. However, you remember for a particular UCLA team a handful of years ago,
Bauer,
Cole and Bauer going 1 and 3. That's the closest instance.
I mean, Jack Leiter, he has been, what was it, 26 innings? His last 26 innings, I think they have 27 strikeouts, no hits. That ball.
Oh, Hunter Stokely, who hit a home run in the bottom of the 9th on Friday, sends that one way up and out of here. His 2nd home run of his young Tar Heels career, a solo shot. Andrew, you knew this one was gone the second he offered the bat at it, right?
Yeah, that's a fastball mislocation by Willitson. And that is a location you do not miss on Stokely. Barrel to baseball, like you said, high up into the sky. It doesn't look like it gets out because of that net behind the right field fence, but that ball is deep out of the ballpark.
I think Devontae Brown was selling it as maybe a bit more shallow than it was, too. He was standing at the wall as if he had a chance to catch it. So that draws it within 4 for NC State. And Mikey Madej now the batter. Leaves that one down 2-0. And this is important for Willitson.
Hey, you wonder how long he's going to go into this game, right? He finished off 21 pitches in game 2, I guess you can call it. Finished on Monday.
Madej sprays it opposite field. Butler on the run, makes the grab. And that's out number 2. Oh, and speaking of the 1-2 punch of Rocker and Leiter, I mean, they are liable any given weekend. Day is in Vanderbilt, the Commodores, to get through Friday and Saturday games having used only those 2 pitchers. Right?
Correct.
I mean, it is a pretty strong likelihood for them most weeks. Well, NC State is trying to get through the weekend with potentially only 3 pitchers used.
Yeah, that would be quite a feat. So you really figure that, Wilson's only at 60 or so pitches on the day. I'm not going to say that, NC State is happy to see that, but they're probably pretty happy just based on what has happened earlier on in the season with their bullpen. Just a couple blown leads, late in the game. Just hasn't been the best. They haven't been able to find those guys that they're able to put into certain situations.
It's a lot like their hitting lineup, too. They've had guys miss sporadically. Got some guys currently unavailable for various reasons. Willitson, the 1-2, blasted back up the middle, and that Horvath 2 for 2. Couple of base knocks today.
Yeah, another really good swing on the fastball. Probably missed location again, a little up in the zone. You see Wilson kind of mad at himself after that. Definitely not a location where you want a 1-2 pitch to be. Way too hittable.
He'll receive a quick visit from Luka Tresh. That's one of the things, too, that when you talk to Elliott Avent, head coach of NC State, and you mentioned, Luka got off to a really hot start offensively to the season, but has cooled off a little bit. Coach Avent will be very quick to remind you, he's catching every pitch, too.
And that's something he hasn't done in his career yet,
right?
Because of Patrick Bailey being in front of him.
So he's carrying quite the load for this NC State team. As Justice Thompson settles into the box, big cut. That's really the first pitch he's seen on the inner half of the plate today.
Yeah, really good changeup right there by Willitson. There's so much depth on that changeup.
Pulled foul and a quick 0-2 to Thompson. Two strikes, 2 outs. That one sent up into the air. Foul ground. Murr underneath it at first. Squeezes for the 3rd out, and that retires the side in the bottom of the 5th inning. But another solo shot for North Carolina's Hunter Stokely, a moonshot, his second of the series and second of his career.
The designated hitter, Tatum.
Back at the Bosch, 6th inning, game 3 of this rivalry series between NC State and North Carolina. Designated hitter Terrell Tatum to lead things off against North Carolina's Michael O on for his 2nd inning of relief. Tatum watches 0-1. Michael O's looked good so far in this outing, right?
Yeah, really good. You know, his off-speed pitches are able to move a pretty good distance, have some good depth on them. Like I say, he's not trying to overpower people. Right there, he's going to stay 85, 86. But it's going to look like 90, 91 because of the slow off-speed. He's looked real good for Carolina so far.
Tatum hacks. Chops one into the ground, foul. 2 strikes against him now. 0 for 2 here in game 3. A strikeout his last time up. Miss hit into the air into left. Zarate makes the grab for out number 1. So Michael O continues to work, and Devontae Brown now the batter for NC State. Walked early in the 2nd. A ground ball to shortstop as well. Wolfpack still waiting for his bat to awaken. First pitch swinging. Hard ground ball back into the gap. Soretti tries a Derek Jeter jump throw, but not in time, and Brown runs out the infield single.
And sometimes those are types of hits that will kind of kickstart your momentum, but Soretti just not able to get a strong enough throw on that. I'm not sure if he gets him anyway. Isn't it crazy to watch that type of play from someone else other than Derek Jeter and he made it look so easy? That's the crazy thing in the big leagues too.
He popularized it.
He really did.
I think without the prominence of Derek Jeter's career with the Yankees, as the runner takes off, Brown not in time, tagged. He did try to swim move the tag, but that's a nice throw by Tomas Frick.
Yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be a hit and run. It looks like home plate umpire actually calls interference on Menchik anyway, so he would have been, I believe, called out no matter what. He does try to swim move that. You see that a lot in today's game, the old swim move.
Midday got him up underneath the arm, so now 2 away as Wojtek Menchik sends that one out to center field. And an easy play for Justice Thompson. That makes a 3-up, 3-down inning. Unconventional, but possible, as it's a 4-run lead for NC State. Bottom 6 here in Chapel Hill. North Carolina to the plate. And they need to get some things going offensively. The trenches, as they have patented it in the bullpen, made a name for itself in that midweek win against East Carolina, right? I mean,
yeah,
doing the line kicks, going crazy when the bats are going, but that hasn't been the case in this series as Angel Zarate, it's a weak dribbler over to JT Jarrett, who makes the play with the underhanded toss, one away.
Whatever keeps the hardest people on a team to keep interested is pitchers, for sure. So whatever helps them, get something, stay interested, whatever it is, have at it. I would be all for it if I'm Coach Forbes and company.
You saying the guys out in the bullpen aren't always the most engaged?
For some reason they're not. I don't know why. They are the guys who eat all the snacks in the dugout, though, I can tell you that. They love their snacks.
Maybe they feel like the outcasts. You know, they're put out there in the bullpen, away from the rest of the team.
Whatever it is.
I'm trying to empathize.
I know you are. Coming from a non-pitcher, you're not going to get much much help from me.
Breaking ball dropped in by Willitson, so an 0-2 count to Danny Soretti, who is 0 for 2 today. Soretti was 0 for 4 in game 2 and just 1 for 4 in game 1. Talk about a red hot bat coming into this series that has cooled off.
Yeah, and Carolina's just looking for someone to kickstart their offense, get guys on, and it just seems like they're always in a non-hitters count. So, a 1-2, a 2-2, whatever it is, they just don't seem to be in fastball hitting counts. And I think that's where they've struggled the most. When you're battling from behind all the time, it's hard to get going.
Closest thing to that, probably the guy in the on-deck circle for them right now. 5 hits on the series for Caleb Roberts is Soretti. A violent hack at that one. Back into the padding.
Yeah, Roberts is seeing it well. 5 for 9 on the weekend. We talked about how hard that is to do. A couple line drives today.
Again, 2 strikes against Soretti. And he pulls it foul. Certainly some method to the madness of the shifting against Roberts, though, that has paid off in NC State's favor. Another hard line drive pulled by Soretti. It's the 4th foul ball he's hit with 2 strikes.
It's all been on changeups that stayed middle of the plate. If you're Wilson, you can't make a mistake in middle of the plate. Obviously, he's getting good barrel on it. See if he comes back with a fastball, maybe on the inside part of the plate or up in the zone.
Instead, tries to bait him with the breaking ball low, but you had some cushion with a 1-2 count. Pitch number 9 to Soretti on coming. Hard hit on the ground, fair just over top of the bag, and Austin Murr, to have gotten hit with that pitch in his leg early on, has looked awfully spry.
Yeah, he must not be, feeling it too much right now. Probably the adrenaline of possibly getting a sweep on the weekend is helping.
You're saying he might feel it later?
He'll feel it later on tonight. That bus ride home, 20-minute bus ride home. He looks like he's just having a good time today. Smiling all around the base pads, dancing.
Yeah, I would say just on a perceived fun-o-meter, if that is such a thing exists, or we created one, he would be scoring the highest right now.
The fun-o-meter.
Perceived fun-o-meter. Because I don't want to speak for him. We'll let him tell us if he's having fun. It seems like he's having fun. The 0-1 to Roberts as he goes down to a knee, fouls it out of play. And this is what you were talking about with Willitson. He's just getting ahead in counts.
Yeah, it's quick. He's not going many. I think he's probably led off almost every at bat he's had with a strike. So you get kind of into that pitch, and then you're able to, or you're not able to really see what you want. You're not going up with a plan.
Breaking ball with 2 strikes. Hack and a miss. Matt Willitson dealing to retire the side in the bottom of the 6th inning. NC State with a 4-run lead, and the loopiness of this one. No chance for Caleb Roberts. A hot offensive start for NC State, as it's been for much of this series. All their runs scored in the first 3 innings, and Matt Willardson just completed his 6th inning of work in this game. He tossed in a couple of innings for the Wolfpack to conclude game 2, as he's only the 3rd pitcher used by NC State this weekend. Could they do it, Andrew?
You know what? I was thinking about it last inning, and we've talked about it throughout this game and somewhat of last game. I'm starting to think that they might be able to. We may see something that I've never seen before in my lifetime.
Michael O continues working for North Carolina.
Talk about making a name for yourself.
Yeah, he's through 2 innings and has looked really good so far for the Tar Heels in just his 2nd appearance of the season.
I have a feeling he might be getting some more appearances after this one. Like I said, he's not going to overpower you. He's under hitting speed. It's, when you get into that middle 80s, 83 to 86, it's usually a big time hitting speed. But his off-speed stuff is, mid to upper 70s. Has really good movement on his fastball. Slider looks good. He's been very good in this game so far.
He's only given up 1 hit, a couple of strikeouts. Looking inside and then out to JT Jarrett. So the count 3-1. 9-1, 2 batters due up for NC State this side. Fouled away, and now a full count.
And for NC State against this type of pitcher, you're just trying to see the ball up, go the other way with it.
Two misses outside. Jarrett walks and reaches for the 3rd time in 3 plate appearances today. So now a runner on for Austin Murr, who we believe to be having the most fun of anyone today.
Yep, I agree with you.
He's been all smiles, even through 90-mile-per-hour fastball right to the knee or just above it. Big swing on that one. Sends it a no-doubter over the right field wall. His 2nd home run of the series. And if he wasn't having fun before, that confirms it. He's having a blast right now.
There you go, no smile around the base paths. There it is. There's the smile we've been seeing this whole game. I'm going to say the knee is feeling good.
Well, it can't possibly be feeling bad. Look at this swing. He obliterated that thing.
And that's the issue, with O. If you miss, your misses can be obviously hit very hard because you are under that hitting speed. So Murr taking advantage of a missed location, and he absolutely destroys that pitch over the right field wall.
He had a home run in the top of the 8th inning of Game 2. That was the part of Game 2 that was played on Saturday. That was on a line. That one right there was not much different, but just a lot more into it. He really got into that ball. McDonough with a big swing. NC State now ahead by 6. Hard grounder over to first, handled, and Hunter Stokely retires McDonough for out number 1.
Stokely's looked good over there at first base, too. As you mentioned before, already 4 different first basemen for Carolina. So he's made a couple nice plays over there, obviously with the home run. Can that be the missing piece that they want to go to defensively? Well, we've seen a couple errors from them on the weekend.
First pitch swinging. Luka Tresh. Ground ball dug up by Mac Horvath, and he tosses across the diamond for 2 away. Stokely seemed to have thought that was the third.
We've all been there. It's all right. You get a good smile out of it. You'll get reminded by probably everyone on the field and in the dugout.
The left fielder, Johnny Butler.
Johnny Butler does get a chance at the plate, though. Hitless in this game 3. Weak grounder. Stokely comes up and gets it. Wanted to toss to O, but instead tags Butler himself. What a play by the freshman over at first. NC State will go into the 7th inning stretch ahead big, though. Austin Murr, a no-doubter, he looked away from it. Didn't even watch it land. Back with you in Chapel Hill, and how about this for one of the stories of this series? NC State still riding on only their 3 pitchers that were slated to start each game. Meanwhile, North Carolina, 17 pitchers used. Now, that does include the same pitcher multiple times.
Correct.
For instance, Gage Gillian has pitched in relief all 3 games of this series. He's included 3 times in there, but 17-3.
I mean, that's ridiculous, right? I'm speechless on it. I don't know. That's something I've never seen before. You know, you see the 65 pitches. We've mentioned that he already has 21 kind of on the belt already today, finishing up game 2.
So you're creeping up in 90-100 territory now.
Yeah, and you know, you just wonder, with early on in the season, they've blown a couple leads. They've struggled a little bit. So do you push them a little bit further than what you normally would in this spot to get the sweep? Sweeps are hard to come by. See pitching coach Clint Chrysler on the walkie-talkie right there. Wonder if he's going to start stirring up his bullpen.
It would be the first time this series as that one sails high and away. Inside on Frick, away from Willardson, rather. And 2-2 the count. Reed Johnston threw 116 pitches on Friday in the complete game, just to have an idea of how long the leash might be.
And that's a guy coming out of the bullpen for NC State. That's his first start of the season, so
easily the most he's thrown all year. Frick pulls that one to deep in the gap as it bounces to the wall. It'll be extra bases for Tomas Frick to lead things off for North Carolina, a double.
And Frick's looked good at the plate so far. You know, it's a changeup, stays up in the zone, does a great job getting hands to it, stays behind it. He showed some strength. I mean, that ball's out there to that 370 sign here at the Bosch.
Certainly one of the deeper parts of the ballpark. And Eric Grintz, now the batter, the designated hitter for North Carolina. See, they're limited opportunities, so he's only driven in 2 runs so far this season for the Heels. And a spot with Frick in scoring position here. Drills it up the middle and through. That'll be an RBI single to make it 8-3. North Carolina pulls within 5.
And that's exactly what you want to do if you're Carolina. You just kind of chip away until you get some, guys on base and do some damage.
So now Hunter Stokely walks up to the plate after in the 5th inning absolutely pummeling the baseball for his 2nd home run in a Tar Heel uniform and the 2nd of the series. Had a solo shot in the bottom of the ninth on Friday. Maybe not before a meeting on the mound, potentially a pitching change. It's Evan Justice out there getting warmed up for NC State. He's typically been the Friday starter for the Wolfpack, but they've really leaned on him a lot. Still in the mix as a possibility as a starter. Matter of fact, Elliot Avent had mentioned to us that he tossed around the idea of starting Justice today for Game 3.
And he's been out of the bullpen early on in his career and has had success with that. So he struggled early on this year with starting, that Friday night role. And, could this be they're figuring out their, rotation? If you're going to get these types of starts from Wilson, Highfield, and, Reed Johnson, then you can keep them in the bullpen.
And that's so much of the configuring that typically happens during a non-conference schedule or during 100%. Midweek games. And that's the brutal part about playing in such a difficult ACC this season, is that there was no on-ramp for anyone.
Correct. Yeah, you had the one weekend, and then you're boom right into it.
So Willitson remains out there for NC State. 0-1 count to Hunter Stokely. Stokely connected for a home run his very last time at the dish. Sends that one way up into the air. Tresh loses the mask, makes the grab back in foul ground.
Let me tell you, Stokely just missing that one. That's the same exact changeup, middle of the plate, that he was able to hit out of the ballpark last time. I'm sure he wishes he can see that pitch again. Get another look at it right here. That's middle, belt high. You can see he wants that one back. It's a big out by Wilson, though.
And now Tyler Causey will be the pinch hitter in place of Mikey Madej. Causey's been the DH, played some first base in this series. First pitch strike in there from Willitson. For 2 on the series. Breaks that one up the middle. Weakly hit, though, and caught by Jose Torres, 2 away.
I think you want to see another left-handed batter in there. That's why they pinch hit Causey. It's just with that changeup, they're able to see it a little bit better. He's starting to leave it up in the zone a little bit, probably getting a little bit tired. Not able to locate his pitches as much. But this guy has been seeing the ball very well today.
Mac Horvath, 2 for 2. Just 1 hit on the season entering today. Rips that one. First pitch he sees, but foul.
They're trying
in the trenches, trying to convince the officiating crew otherwise. How much luck they're going to have on that one.
Hey, they're engaged. They're engaged in the game. That's what you want to see.
So a strike to Horvath. Timeout called. You hear some instruments from the North Carolina faithful.
Big question, is that bike still going on down there in the trenches?
Breaking ball pulled by Horvath, foul down the line. A couple of foul balls, an 0-2 count for Horvath. We mentioned it earlier, but Horvath, a big-time recruit. According to most outlets, a top 10 high school shortstop in the country. It's the breaking ball in the dirt.
And that's the thing. You talked about, him coming in, obviously struggling early on. You just never know what you're going to get. College baseball is completely different than, obviously, high school baseball and travel ball. But I think today you're seeing why he is, ranked so highly coming into college. Wilson just missing on the black right there. I thought that was a pretty good location.
It's a good take by Horvath. Levels the count, 2-2. There you see it, according to Perfect Game, number 11. High school shortstop in the country. Seems that one in the air, opposite field. McDonough giving it chase, makes the grab in the gap, and that retires North Carolina in the 7th. NC State heads to the 8th with a 5-run lead. Another pitching change for North Carolina headed into the top of the 8th inning here. It'll be Connor Olio, who has actually only thrown 6 pitches in this series. He was the first out of the bullpen on Friday in Game 1 to replace Austin Love. He threw 6 pitches, all for balls, walking the only complete batter he faced. So you figure he would like a bit of redemption in this one, a bounce-back performance coming off of that.
This is a big spot in the game, obviously late in the innings. If you can keep it at an 8-3 ball game, you can kind of chip away in the bottom of the 8th and just give yourself a chance in the 9th. That's exactly what you're trying to do if you're Carolina.
You'll have Jose Torres, Terrell Tatum, and Devontae Brown to begin things. Torres a solo shot, 1 for 3 on the day. Olio off the mark, 1-0. Contact, weak dribbler right side. Good backhanded grab by Stokely and recovers to make the throw over to Olio, who was covering.
Yeah, you see they got the shift on, so he almost forgets about it. Then he remembers, recovers, makes a good play. Nice job by Olio getting over. Like I said, Stokely looking good over there at first base for Carolina.
It was much needed through a couple of games in this series. Much needed for Olio there to get a batter out. Restore his confidence following a bad outing on Friday. Couple misses here though, and 2-0 to Terrell Tatum. Low and end, 3-0. Tatum takes 4 balls and will reach base for the first time today.
Now back for Wolfpack. The right fielder, Devontae Brown.
So now comes Devontae Brown, and You know, you retire a batter, that makes a big difference, but 6 pitches in, not a lot has changed for Connor Olio. 5 of those balls, with just 1 being a strike. Big swing from Brown. One thing's for sure, he has not shied away from swinging at first pitches this season. Despite his struggles, he's remained aggressive in that regard.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, if you have an approach and you're going to go up and say, hey, I'm going to go first pitch, whatever it is, then, you know, you have that approach, but you would think that has to change at some point with the results he's getting off of that. It's another good slider by Olio.
2 strikes to Devontae Brown. Rips one into left, and it's down for a base hit. Brown's 2nd knock of the day. He's reached base 3 times in 4 plate appearances now.
That's a good job by staying back on that slider, obviously seeing up in the zone. Keeps his hands back in a good hitting position.
Couple of hits today, a welcome sight for NC State for a guy who last season, at the time that the college baseball season was halted, was in the mix for ACC Player of the Year. I mean, Devontae Brown had 5 home runs, 19 driven in, was slugging near 700.
It's like video game numbers.
He was that good through 17 games in 2020. It's already one of the best offensive teams in the ACC this season. As Menchik sends that one out to center, and Justice Thompson makes the grab. Taking off for 3rd, Tatum slides in safely. Now runners at the corners with 2 away.
Yeah, Tatum, good runner, testing that arm of Thompson out in center field. Pretty heads-up base running play. Just to put yourself in, you know, better scoring position than you already are.
It's now 3 consecutive fly balls to center field for Wojtek Menchik as JT Jarrett steps into the batter's box. But I was saying, Andrew, I mean, look, this is already one of the best offenses in the ACC. If Brown can get back to where he was,
yeah. And it's funny you say they're, you know, one of the best offensive teams in the ACC, but yet this is their first ACC weekend win. You know, that's just talking about the depth of the ACC. It goes up and down the lineup. It's tough to win games. So, you know, if they can get a sweep in this one, that's a huge bounce back weekend off of their first 3.
Jarrett slaps it on the ground. Soretti gets the easy out at 2nd, and it retires NC State in the top of the frame onto the bottom of the 8th. Well, look at this. Matt Willitson back out onto the mound for NC State into his 8th inning of work in this game 3. This would be his 10th inning of work today. Here's a look at how the starting pitchers have fared for NC State this weekend. By the way, these 3 faces that you see, the only people who have pitched for the Wolfpack in what is potentially going to be a sweep of the Tar Heels this weekend.
I mean, it's incredible. One, they haven't gotten any start like this prior to this weekend, and you know, in the season they've struggled with the bullpen. They've blown some leads, like I've said before. So to get these starts from these pitchers this weekend, in a rival weekend where you need a win, where you need a series win, you know, they were getting into the territory of must-win, you know, type situation. So hats off to these NC State pitchers so far. By pitchers, I mean 3 of them.
Willitson will try and finish what he started. He bounces it for a 2-0 count. Top of the North Carolina order, though, Justice Thompson. You see there, 0 for the day. Caught the bottom part of the strike zone, right where you want to be.
right there, it's only, that's his 102nd pitch on the day if you're counting the 21 prior to this game. Velo's still there, 88, 89.
Tried to place those in consecutively the same spot, missing just a little bit low. So 3-1 now the count. Ripped foul.
There's those
looked
quick
like,
hands.
Looked like Barry Chambers corrected his call back there. I'm not sure where he's getting 2-2, but he motioned 2-2 with the foul ball. That remains the count. Official scoring's got it at 2-2 as well. That one pounded into the ground. Torres from shortstop makes the toss. And Murr completes the play. So Thompson retired again via the ground out.
Yeah, it's just another off-speed pitch. It's a changeup that he's not afraid to throw to righties. Sometimes you see, a right-hand pitcher unable to throw a changeup to a right-hand batter, but he's got it going on today.
Now it's Angel Zarate. Much like Thompson, entering this at bat 0 for 3. Another 2-0. So Willitson perhaps losing a little bit early in counts here.
Yeah,
it was 2-0 to Thompson as well.
I'm shocked he's still in this game, to be honest with you. I think it's just there could be some trust issues going on with the NC State and its bullpen, but he's getting deep in the counts. You see Evan Justice right there warming up, and I think this would be his last batter, but I could be wrong.
Finds the strike zone. Willitson, for what it's worth, has not walked a batter today. Foul tip back into the glove and a full count.
Just what a gutsy performance.
Yeah, well, I mean,
this is
to negate a couple of 2-0 counts, we'll see what the ultimate outcome of this one is with Zarate. Misses high and away, so it is a walk, but with a 5-run lead, minimal harm done. Elliot Avon on the walkie-talkie there. Danny Soretti will be the batter for North Carolina. So we've been doing some quick addition all day with Willitson's pitches. He's at 90, you add the 21, call it 111 for the day. That's awfully close to the 116 that Reed Johnston had on Friday, and here comes Elliot Avon. So it looks as if Willitson's day might be done. He gets the round of applause from Avon. Either way, I think. And yep, there it is, the call. Evan Justice, the left-hander, will take it from here for the Wolfpack, ahead by 5 in the bottom of the 8th inning, looking to sweep the Tar Heels. Back in Chapel Hill, that's Matt Willitson. A fine performance, 7 1/3 thrown for NC State in this game 3 of the series. He'll be replaced by Evan Justice, who's been the usual Friday starter so far this season. Moved to the bullpen this weekend to finish things out here. And something, too, about Willitson, it's not just 7 1/3 thrown. Yeah, he finished game 2 before this one in the resumption of game 2 and threw 2 innings.
I mean, that's hats off to that young man right there. last 2 appearances for NC State, you know, he's been great. And now you hand it off to your so-and-so Friday night guy. You know, big time left-handed 94, 96 type guy, can get up into the upper 90s.
Compared to what Willitson has shown North Carolina, this is a much different
Much
look.
different. Yep, he hides the ball really well, kind of a funky delivery as you see right there. He kind of jumps towards home plate. But for him, it's just a matter of, you know, can you get the job done? Can you finish, you know, the game? That's all NC State's been looking for, you know, in the season so far.
And Willitson technically counts as a relief pitcher in game 2. That one bounced back to Justice, gets the out at second. Jarrett the throw to first, and they turn 2 to retire the side and get out of the 8th. So a job well done. Evan Justice gets out of the inning for NC State. They lead it by 5, and yet another instance in which the Wolfpack turns 2. A huge bounce-back weekend as NC State looks to complete the sweep of this ACC rivalry series. Here's a look at what they've got coming up. They travel to UNC Greensboro tomorrow in a non-conference bout, and really just a manageable stretch for them. I mean, again, we've talked about the ACC. Clemson is 6-6 in the league. Boston College has a lot of talent, so those aren't walkover series. But that's about as manageable as it could be for NC State at this juncture. So this series against North Carolina should serve as quite the potential launching pad for them.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge weekend for them, and I know they're happy to see the Georgia Tech, the Louisville, the Miami in their rearview mirror. They don't have to worry about them anymore. They can kind of just look ahead and, you know, focus one game at a time, moving through the ACC now. But yeah, like you said, this is a huge weekend if they get this sweep.
Or a hard hit ball on the ground, back to the top of the order for NC State. And he grounds out to get things started as they look to pad on some insurance. Jack Rydell making the play. Freshman getting the defensive substitution into the game.
The center fielder, Tyler McDonough.
Here's Tyler McDonough, first pitch swinging. Back to Rydell as well. And another play made at second base.
Ball will find you if you get put in late in the game for defense. I mean, 2 ground balls right to Rydell. 2 quick outs for Olio. That's a big sign for, you know, the Carolina and their pitching staff to get Olio 2 quick outs here in the 9th.
Trash watches it in the dirt. Connor Olio navigating this outing, getting through it. As North Carolina trying to find some silver linings wherever they can. His bouncing back from Friday's outing, certainly a positive. And there's Colby Wilkerson in at shortstop as well, so we wonder if the ball will find him. The freshman infielder. Trash, a soft wave at it with the bat. 2 strikes against him. Weak grounder. There's Wilkerson at short in traffic, able to make the throw and in time. 3 up, 3 down for NC State in the top of the 9th, but North Carolina with 5 runs to tie going into the bottom of the frame. To the bottom of the 9th inning we go. North Carolina trying to save its weekend, per se. This did get pushed to Monday, so not technically the weekend anymore, but you get it. The series, NC State wins in games 1 and 2. And Evan Justice on to finish the job for NC State. Got the Ground ball into a double play to retire things in the 8th. Hoping to close things out for the Wolfpack. They already ensured their first ACC series win of the season, looking to complete the sweep. Caleb Roberts watches for strike one.
I believe this will be their first sweep since March 22nd weekend of 2019 against Miami.
Breaking ball left low. And there's some context there too, because this 2021 ACC is even more difficult to sweep a team.
Oh yeah.
Roberts left the breaking ball that time. So a 1-2. If you're North Carolina, based on the way your batters have been hitting this series, this is probably the guy you want at the plate.
Yeah,
5 hits so far. Justice spikes it and evens the count 2-2.
Yeah, just seeing the ball really well. You can, I always judge it off their takes. So, if they're in a good hitting position, good balance, everything's looking good off their takes, I think they're really seeing it well. They're comfortable.
Roberts goes the other way with it. That one took a low bounce for Min Sheet, but he handles it and makes the play for out number 1. Justice 2 outs away from putting a bow on this for the Wolfpack. First pitch strike, 96 on the gun to Tomas Frick.
Well, like I said, he's got a big time arm, and it's pretty. Doesn't look like he's overpowering. Just nice and smooth. Just a little bit of funky delivery. Hides the ball really well, and this could be, where they're going to move him to. Maybe just a bullpen guy, move him out of that starting rotation.
Breaking ball. Talk about a change to look there. That thing,
big time.
After a couple of mid-90s fastballs. Can't catch the inner corner there. 3-1 to Frick, who doubled his last time up and then was singled in by Eric Grintz. And a close ball 4 taken for Tomas Frick aboard with 1 away. Here's Grintz. Justice working from the stretch. Misses with the first. Grintz a couple of hits today.
How fitting would it be for NC State to end this ball game on yet another double play turned on the weekend? Seen a bunch of those come already.
There's a strike from Justice. They turned 3 in game 2. Now they've turned 2 so far in this one. Big cut from Grintz. Grintz calls time. He's driven in runs with each of his singles so far today. So 2 of those 3 North Carolina runs, at least partially because of Eric Grintz.
Yeah, he's a good-looking hitter. I think he gets his barrel through his zone very quickly. Good hands. Does he get him right there?
Got him with the check swing. Rob Friedman at Pitching Ninja. Where are you at? That's a sword.
Just an inside hard fastball. It's a tough spot for a right-hand hitter.
Number 17,
Puts 2 outs on the board and leaves only 1 for North Carolina. Jake Holtzapfel will be the pinch hitter. In the place of Hunter Stokely. So here, pretty simply, you move from a left-handed bat to a right-handed bat, trying to play the percentages. Holtzapfel puts it in the air, and that one spins foul.
Yeah, I'm shocked to see that. I mean, obviously, you know, matchups and, you know, left on left or whatever it is, but I just thought Stokely was just seeing the ball really well. You keep him in there just for a power standpoint. You know, if he gets a hold of one, it's probably going to get out of this place.
Tar Heels down to their final strike. Justice leaves it high. The 1-2. Holtzapfel fights it off.
Nothing like sitting on the bench for 9 innings and being able to come in and see 96. All right, tough task.
Can't battle with 2 strikes and just tips that one, actually. Tresh may have squeezed that one for the 3rd and final out. Narrowly escaping. Jake Holtzapfel will see another pitch. Breaking ball dropped in, strike 3, Justice. K's Holtzapfel and retires the side, completing the NC State sweep. And you see it there, a historic one. The first sweep of the Tar Heels here in Chapel Hill since 1992. Andrew, this was a huge series for NC State.
It is a huge series for NC State to get them back into the W column in the ACC. What a pitching performance by all 4 pitchers. 4 pitchers, that's it, on the weekend. Justice, Highfill, Willitson, and Reed Johnson. Hats off to them.
So for Andrew Simpson, I'm Darren Vaught saying so long from Chapel Hill and Boshamer Stadium, where the final score, NC State 8, North Carolina 3. The Wolfpack sweeps the ACC series. Watch the entire game on replay as well as others on our family of ESPN networks at watchespn.com or on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.